Alright guys, so before we get started, I'm just going to throw this out here. This might be in a separate video in a playlist. If it is, that explains why there's not really an intro. You can just check the intro out in the video above this one. If not, I might make it a one video, depends on how long it is. I don't like to upload too long of a video. But so if you're hearing this, then you know why. So I'll have to probably beep that out for YouTube's new standards. So let me grab my light. Sorry, I'm in Pennsylvania right now and it's cold as shit. So let me show you where this is. Alright, so in the passenger side kick panel, this you pull the carpet back, there's just some Velcro holding it on. And there's 4 10mm, you can see where they are. There. And you remove that and you get this stuff. So, let me zoom out. This is your wiring and your ECU and all your main important stuff. So, the harness we're looking for is this one. It's this big harness. It's held in by a couple 10mm. Anytime you're messing around down here, if you're unplugging anything, you always want to unplug the power first before you start messing with this stuff. Because you don't want to short anything out. The ECU only runs on like 0.5 of a volt, or it'll mess something up. So always make sure you want to disconnect the positive before you come in here and start messing around. So I'm definitely going to take a look at these wires though, because if you can see, something's been living in here. There's like nuts and shit. So alright, let me get started and I'll be right back with you guys. Alright guys, so I got the box out. Looks like there may be some water damage. I'm not really sure. I'll have to look into it a little bit more, but yeah, it's out. So what we're going to be doing is spin this around. We're going to be pulling that 10mm out to get to the harness. So while you're down here, you should always just, like, you know, give your wires a quick look over, make sure there's nothing crazy or broken or ripped. So alright, let's get this apart. Alright, so we got our pin shoved in there. We're testing cylinder 3 right now, so that's going to be pin 105. So we have that in 105. And then we're going to come out here. We're going to look at our harness. Right there. Alright. We're going to be inside B, which is the terminal side view of this. It's not the outside view, which the diagram makes it look like it's going to be on the right. If you're staring at the plug from the passenger side, it's going to be the one on the left. Alright everybody, so I just checked it. The pinout in the manual is wrong. So I will put a picture of fucking everything's going dead. I will be adding a... Okay everybody, so the pinout in the manual is wrong. The best way to test this is to take... to find out which color you have on the individual wire, like mine's white and red, and you go down to the ECU and you find out which one's the white and red one. I will be putting a picture of this in there. It's the actual correct wiring diagram thing that has the color code and everything for your injectors, so you won't have this problem. I just spent like 2 hours trying to figure this out because the manual's wrong. So I don't know if there was an update or if it's a late model and this is an early Model Z. Not really sure, but either way I'm going to put the right one in a picture form right now, and you guys can look at it and figure out what's going on. So the next step, it says to test the component, which, like I already said, I already did, but just for shits and giggles, let's do it again. Okay, so we got our ohm meter set to ohms. We'll grab our two ends. We go down where the plug is. We put one on one side, and I mean, it's hard to see. If it's on there right, it reads 13 ohms. It's hard to do with one hand, but yeah, you just kind of put one end of each one on the other side, and over here, if it reads anything under should be 10 to 14. If it reads anything under 10, it's bad, or negative, or infinite. Any of that, you should replace it. So the next step is to test the signal coming from the ECU. So I'm going to do that real quick and see what happens. Alright, so we just got done with section C and the one below it. That's where that is tested the injector. The injector is good. So now we have to reinstall everything we just uninstalled. So that's going to involve putting the we're going to put the injector harness back in. So we're going to put the harness back in. We're going to reconnect the battery after we reinstall the ECU. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll get back with you. Alright guys, so it's getting pretty late. I mean, as you can see, it was light when I started this operation. I gotta do an ECU, some kind of input-output test. I gotta look it up in the manual, find out what's going on with that. So that's kind of a bummer. I mean, everything tested good on this side. That just means I have to dig into it more and see what happens. So, I don't know. What do you guys think it is? Comment down below. I'm tired. Well, thank you for sticking it out this long, and have a good night. Deuces.